everyone, welcome back to Paper Made Me Do It. I wanted to share an exciting new addition to my fountain pen collection, and to do so, the rest of this video is going to be in a very different format for me. It was completely inspired by Adventure Denali here on YouTube. She often posts videos where she copies excerpts from books with her fountain pen, and while you watch her do the writing sample, she will read the passage from the book aloud. So I am going to be doing a similar format to that for the rest of this video, which will be very different for me, but I will be sharing with you a story about this pen. It is a story that I wrote, and it has a lesson and a moral. So if you would like to learn more about this beautiful pen, then stick around. Thanks for watching. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who never played with dolls because she found far more joy in playing with paper and pens. That little girl grew into a woman and a wife and a mother. Then one day, her husband asked her what she wanted for Mother's Day. So she asked for a Pelikan M800 limited edition brown with an 18-karat extra fine nib, because she was not yet accustomed to the proper German pronunciation of Pelikan. Her husband responded, quote, "Sure, why don't you order 3 of them, one from each of the boys?" End quote. But the mother was responsible and only ordered 1 because she knew that her husband had absolutely no idea what he was saying. The pen was ordered, and modern-day tracking projected its delivery by the end of the day on Tuesday, May 12, 2020. But when she arrived home from work that day, there was sadly no pen to be found. She finally gave up hope around 7:30 that night, assuming it would be delivered the next day. However, she received a text from the DHL driver at 9:30 p.m. that night stating the pen would in fact be delivered shortly. But alas, the DHL driver must have been related to her husband, because it did not arrive shortly thereafter. It did, however, arrive at 10:50 p.m. that night, and she immediately tore into the box. Having already owned an M200, she was expecting the aesthetic and performance to be as pleasing as its predecessor, but even better. The looks did not disappoint. Holding it in her hands for the first time, she thought it to look and feel like a piece of jewelry, just stunning. And the impressive feed reminded her of the ceiling in the passageway that leads to the One World Trade Center in New York, a work of art. After some debate, she inked the new mama bird with J. Urban's Café de Isles and took to her trusty Rhodia dot pad. Oh, how she wanted to like it, love it even. But the beautiful gold nib felt almost scratchy on the page, and she could not produce the effortless formal cursive or calligraphy, or print even, that she so easily had attained with the M200. How could this be? She finally determined, after several pages of scrawling doodles and pangrams, that the new pen performed best when writing in a loose, informal cursive, as in everyday writing or journaling. By the time this discovery was made, she had depleted the first run of the coffee-colored ink and was sadly not impressed. But instead of giving up, she decided to try a different ink and re-inked the Pelikan with a sample of Organics Studio Oscar's Copper. And oh, the joy! She felt as though she was writing with a different pen. The nib began to glide across the page, as smooth as butter, or as slick as owl shit, since she was in fact from the South. She did realize that even after the nib began writing smoothly, it still felt best suited for the loose style of quick and messy cursive, and should perform best as a daily writer for notes or journaling. She was so happy and relieved that she gave the pen a second chance before returning it. She learned a valuable lesson that night. Ink matters. And the moral of the story? If you want something to perform at its absolute best, get to know it first and allow it to be exactly what it was meant to be, not what you expected it to be. The end.